Hey guys, it's Captain Cam here with my first video, and in this first video we're going to be doing some Bukkit plugin making. Hooray! So this first episode isn't going to be about like Bukkit plugin making, since I'm going to start from the ground up. So first we're going to have to learn how to understand the Java language first of all. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So first of all, you're going to obviously need your program to start off with, and we're going to be using a program called Eclipse. And Eclipse is a program that's pretty much used by most of the Bukkit plugin making community. Although there are some other programs out there, this one is really loved and beloved by everyone, pretty much. So what you want to do is you want to go to this website that I have up here, not that. You want to go to www.eclipse.org, and what you want to do is that this is already bookmarked up here. You already have Eclipse standards, so that's what you want. You can just click on that, and then you have to download links right here. You have Windows 32, 64, you have Mac, and Linux. But who the hell uses a Linux? So you have that, so you just download it. So just for the sake, I'm just going to click on this for some reason. So you have downloads, blah blah blah. You download it from there, or you pick a mirror right there. Yeah, I'm watching South Park. You want to see that? Alright, so you already have that open. So it's going to be in a RAR file if you do it for Windows. So, and this is everything in a RAR file. I just extracted it already. So this is the program Eclipse. It's the one with the logo on it. So you're just going to open that up, and the first thing that's going to happen is this is going to pop up. And if you're a first timer to Eclipse, there's going to be a message like similar to this, but it's basically you're going to set up a workspace. It's basically you're making your own directory where everything's going to be stored and all your files are going to be stored at. So I have mine right there. So I'm just going to start it up, and I should have my workspace loaded up in just a second. Well, it's loading right now, but I'll just let it load. So how are you guys today? Are you guys fine? You guys very attractive. Let's just forget I said that. Okay. Yeah, I have these projects working out. Let's close that. So this is the general work. This is the main area we're working out here. This is the package explorer. This is where all your programs and your Java projects are gonna make. These are just task lists. These is like kind of a notepad. Like you could just make like a bunch of reminders for yourself. An outline. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's the outline of your general project. This is the toolbar, and this is your other bigger toolbar. You got a quick access right there. You have everything pretty much right here. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that I'm going to walk you through a basic general lecture of the Java language. So let's get started. So I'm going to first open a program that I made called the teleport plugin, and it's basically you can right click. No, actually, it's just basically the /tp command in Essentials, the Essentials plugin. It's basically that, but this is my own take on it. So I'm just going to open that up. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the entire lecture that I have. This whole lecture is basically understanding the Java language and basic syntax. So when we work with a Java program, or we're making like a plugin or Bukkit plugin, it can be defined like it can be defined as a collection of objects that communicate through invoking each other's methods. So basically, it's a language as basically just a whole library of what we call objects that can interact with each other through methods, which is basically just actions or like verbs or something. So this is a basic one right here. So let's get started. I actually have a much simpler one. We should have this up. Let's see if I can find it. This is a real, it's a really, really, really easy one. I don't think I can find it right here. It might be this one, or it should be this. Yeah, it should be this one. Oh, this is easy. Okay, so this is a sample one that I did to help with, I taught someone else how to do Java and Bukkit plugins. So this is what this is the basic one I'm going to use. So I'm going to give you some basic terms and definitions. So we have objects. Objects are So let me kind of explain this. Objects are these. Let's have this. This is a basic objects. Now I want to warn you, I'm sort of new to this. I mean, I have like like 4 to 5 months experience on this, so I know what I'm doing. But if I get something wrong, like if I define something wrong, if I identify something that's wrong, please let me know in the comments below. I'm also learning myself. I don't want to say I'm a noob. I'm definitely not a noob, but I want to tell you that I'm learning as well as I'm going through this, but I'm telling you what I know so far. So, let's start. So, yeah, this is an objects. Objects, they can have, let's say, states and behaviors. Let me give you an example. You have a dog, right? A dog can have certain states, like color, its name, its breed, like let's say we have a black Labrador whose name is Bob. Those are its states or conditions. They can be conditions. And objects can also have behaviors, as like a dog have a behavior. It could be barking, it can be eating, and it can be sleeping. So this is basically just our objects. We'll get more into that later. And so the next thing we're going to talk about is a class. And all of this is a class. It's the objects plus this outer part. And so a class, it's basically a template or a blueprint for your Bukkit plugin or your Java program. It's basically just defining what everything is, and it's just basically kind of the vault for all the coding information and stuff. It's kind of like this, just the workspace or the storage area. And so, okay, we'll get more into that. So we also have methods. Now, a method, it's a behavior. It can store logic and is where data is manipulated and where actions are executed. So this is our method. This is our method right here. Actually, this is our method. So actually, I'm really kind of messed up with that. Yeah, this is our method right here. So basically, it's kind of the verb. It's kind of where actions are done through. So I'll explain it later. I'm sorry. And next we also have variables, and each object has its unique set of variables, and an object state is created by the values assigned to their variables. So this is a variable right here. It's a variable for a string, which we'll get into that later. It's basically like algebra. You have algebra, you can have x equals whatever. This is basically string equals this sentence right here. Okay. So, when making Java, I want to tell you something else. When making Java programs, it's very important to keep the following things in mind. Number one, the Java language is extremely case sensitive. So when you have this, you have capital hello, it is extremely different from hello. Those are two very different things. I just want to let you know that. And for class names, so I should actually get to tell you what this is. This is the class. We identify all of this as a class by adding the word class. This is a class right here. Oops. Whoopsies. Okay, so this is our class. And when you want to name a class, usually in Java, I have the identifier, after that you type in its name. So our class name right now, it's called main. And in this case, it's right here, actually. It's called main. So when we have that, class is called name. So for class names, for all class names, the first letter should be capitalized or uppercase, like this. We have main right there. And for method names, all method names should start. This is kind of complicated. All method names should start with a lowercase letter. But if several words are used to form the name of the method, then each inner word, first letter, should be uppercase. So let's do this. Oh, actually, I kind of got that wrong. Oh, with method, this is the method. This is a method too. This also can be a method, but this is pretty much a method too. So I'm going to tell you how to do that. So we can have, let me think of a method name that can relate to Minecraft. Okay, so we can have send message. actually we'll actually make it look realistic and add a variable to player dot send message blah blah blah. Okay, so we can have this too. So this is one method, and let me go through the definition again. All method names should start with a lowercase letter. If several words are used to form the name of the method, send, and message, message. You have send and message. If several words are used to form the name of the method, then each inner word should start with an uppercase letter. So we have send. The first word is lowercase, but then the second one is uppercase. If you kind of understand that, then you're good to go. You know, you're really good to go. Okay, so for a basic Java program, this should be you should have this or something like that. So this is not scripted. I'm kind of like this going off the top of my head, so sorry if I'm kind of sounding like a derp right now. Okay, so we're actually gonna and I'm gonna tell you about identifiers now. So so all Java components like objects and methods and variables, they require names. So names used for classes, variables, and methods are called identifiers. So remember how we said this is our variable? We name this, there's a variable called a string. A string is a type of variable that can store a sentence, like we have hello world. So we have the variable, and then we can name our variable after it by just naming it. And so string 1 is our identifier. So we have, so basically in our idiomatic English language, we have a string variable, and the string variable is called string 1. We named it string 1. And string 1, so the string 1 is equal to hello world. So basically string 1 is hello world. So we have that. And so next we're going to talk about Java modifiers. Modifiers, well, let's say, like other languages, I guess, it's possible to modify classes, methods, and etc. by using modifiers. There are two types of modifiers. There are two categories of types of modifiers. We have access modifiers, which are like public, protected, and private, which means they can determine how data is accessed. And we have non-access modifiers like final, abstract, and strict FDF. So basically public is a modifier. Public means that whatever is in this class, it can be stored from anywhere in the package. I'll get to what a package is later. It can be read from anywhere. So if we have a different class, like this is one class called main Java. I'll tell you how to make a program later. If we have multiple classes, this class can be accessed from anywhere if it has a public modifier. So we're basically done with that. I'm gonna tell you how to start a new program. So we're gonna go to File, and then so we're gonna have New. We're gonna have, oh my god, we're gonna have Java project. So we're gonna name the project YouTube project. Which basically it's going to be, oops, sorry, I kind of skipped to that. Actually, hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So, we're going to start off again. Sorry, I kind of just wanted to check if it was recording. So, we're going to have Java project. We're going to name it YouTube project. Whoopsies. Project. So, oh yeah, it has to be a project. It has to be lowercase. The second one has to be lowercase. So we're gonna have, you can do next or finish. You can do finish if you want. You don't have to do anything else in the next line. So what we're gonna do is that when we open it, we have these files. So the library, it's important. I'll get to what the library is in the next episode. So it's essential for making a Bukkit plugin. So source, this is src, just means source. It's the source directory for all of our stuff, for all of the data that we're going to store and make in here. So in the source, we're going to make a package. And a package is what we're going to store all the classes and all the files and stuff. So, this is important for naming a package. When naming a package, you should have a domain website. It should be your domain name in verse. So let's say if we owned google.com, it should be com.google. If we owned Google, well, we don't. And I don't own, but I'm part of a server called TC Network, and the IP is mctcnetwork.com. So you should go check out that Minecraft server. So it should be like that. So for this, we can do com.mctcnetwork. It's TC Network, but the IP is mctc network. So that should be it. Also, you can have a subdomain in reverse, which you could probably know what this, or in any, or you can use, it's highly discouraged, but you can use your email in reverse. So let's say blah 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 yahoo.com. Oops, actually it's com.yahoo. Blah 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 blah. So we're gonna use com.mctcnetwork. That's the name of our plugin. It shouldn't never start with an uppercase letter. It should never start with an uppercase letter. So now we have a package. You can right click it and we're going to add a class to it. So we're going to go to class and we're going to name our class main. Since it's usually the main class in our package. So we're going to name it, oops, see, this is obeyed my rules. So it should be capital main. Should start with that. So once in Eclipse, you're going to start off with this. You're going to start with the class already made, which is really convenient. At the first line should always name the package. So as package, which is one of our types of objects. So it's going to be a package, and then it's going to be com.tcnetwork. It's going to name that. And another thing, in Java, when we end the line of code, we either use a semicolon or we use brackets, and brackets is like the vault that we store our data in. You don't need to add like a semicolon right after that, since when you have an ending bracket, it's implied that it's kind of done, like it's done reading that code. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with our main method. Now I like to use tabs a lot when doing stuff like that, so I can organize my stuff. Also, at the end of brackets, so I don't confuse myself, I love to add comments. You can add comments by doing the 2 /backslashes. That's how you add a comment, and then you can do end class. A comment is self-explanatory. It's just a comment. When Java runs this, it won't read that. It's just something that it'll. Sorry, someone came in. Hold on. Okay, so whatever. So we're gonna start with our first object or method. It's going to be public, which means it's going to be accessed through any of the classes here. Public. We're going to have static, which it just means that let me find it. It just means that it can be ran without the instance of a main class, which means like if you have another class in here, and if you don't want it to run through the main class, you add static. It's complicated, but we'll get to that like in another video. Static hardware. And so we have, okay, I'm back, sorry. And so then we're gonna have void. Void is another modifier, which it just means. I'm back. Sorry, something happened. So what was that? So we have void. Wait. Well, let me. Static. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so this is an error message. Like when you have it underlined in red, that just means that it's there should be a message. You can hover over it and see what's wrong with it. See, there's an error right there. Inserts, blah blah blah. But we don't need it right now. Just ignore that. So yeah, public. So, wait, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna take this off since this is the main method. I'm gonna take this off. So we're making our method right now. This public void. So void, that just means that it's not gonna return a value like a boolean. And a boolean, we'll get to that later. It has to do with true or false. So void. So we have our method is gonna be called main. And so we're gonna add parentheses. Parentheses. This means that these are parameters. So when it's complicated, I'll get to that in another video. So our parameter for here is just going to be string and then args and then 2 square brackets. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open and close brackets. See, also Eclipse generally just it makes the end bracket for you, so I don't have to do that. So I'm going to do public void main. This is, you don't have to do this, but I like to do it just to organize my shit. Okay, so now what we're going to do is that we're going to add here, so we're going to add a variable. So we're going to add our first method in here. Now this is, we're going to make a program that says hello world. So the first method, which for printing out a sentence or a string, is called system dot out dot print line, and the line is ln. And so we're going to add a parameter in here, which basically in the parameter we're going to enter our string. So we're going to basically saying print whatever is in the parentheses. And when we're going to make a string is basically a combination of 2 or more words. So we're going to add, and when naming a string, we use quotation marks. And see, it already makes the end quotation marks too. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our sentence. We're going to say hello world. And remember how we end our line of code? We enter semicolon. So you don't have to do it right here, since it's implied that that's the end of code. So actually I'm just going to take this back a bit more. So we have hello world. So it's basically saying system.out.println hello world. So yeah, so let's save it and then we're going to run it. So it looks way. So just run it. Oops, we don't want it to run as an applet. We want it to just run. Okay, I'm back. So you see, we have to add static since there is no other main method. This is the main method, so we have to add static and void. So I'm gonna run. Okay, so I kind of messed up right here. We have to add string. Let's just click. So we're gonna click run again. Okay, I'm back. So we're gonna click run again, and we're gonna go back to this. And in console, it's just gonna give us our results. So we have hello world. See, hooray! So this works. So now I'm gonna tell you how to make a variable. So let's take this out. So when we want to name a variable, in this case, we want our variable to be a string. So we're going to do, so remember how we have an object, we have string, then we're going to name our string. Let's name our string. Let's name our string string1, like last time. So we're going to have string1, and then we're going to say string1 equals, and then we're going to say, remember how we have how we make the string. So we're gonna have hello world. Oops, world. And we're gonna add our line of code with that. So string 1. So what we can do is that in the parameters we can do string 1. This is sting 1, not string 1. I mean string 1, not sting 1. So if we run it and then we save, it'll print the same result. If you want, we're gonna, in our parameters we can add some more. We're gonna say I like ponies. Add to, we're gonna say hello world, I like ponies. So what we can do is that we can add space and self-explanatory plus sign. A string plus another string. I like ponies. Oops. And so if we run, See, we have that. And you can add as many strings as if you want. You know, string, second string equals pizza. And on the code, we can also add plus second string. Run. See? Oh, when we have when we have a string, and you see how there's no space right there, you should also do plus, and then that's quotation marks for another string, and space, and then a string, and then plus second string. So you can have a little space right there. So when we run, it can be like that. Okay. I think you pretty much have the general idea of this. I'm sorry if like whoever is experienced in Java is watching this video. Who knows? Like I'm kind of like not. If I messed up, I hope I didn't screw up too much. So yeah, thank you for watching, and if you like this video, subscribe for more. In the next video, I'm going to teach you how to make an actual plugin. I'm going to tell you how to make something that looks like this. Woohoo! You can just take a little preview of this. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so thank you for watching. Have a great day.